It comes, one of the first thing that it asks you to do, it asks you to sync with your Gmail account or your Google account, and it's a very painless setup. You just put in your email address and password, and it will bring in your contacts and calendars and all that from Gmail. It also allows you to set up your Google Voice right here. That's the Google Voice. If you have a Google Voice number, you can already set it up, or if you don't, you can request an invite. As well as the Gtalk, which is the Google Chat platform. You can do that as well, and that's pretty easy. That once you set it up. One of the other things that it allows you to do is allows you to sync directly with Microsoft Exchange. So I put my Exchange account right there, and it went in on the email. So there's two sets of email. There's the Gmail, and then there's email, and that's the difference. Gmail is obviously your Gmail, and then email is everything else, whether it's your POP or IMAP or Exchange email from different providers. So that presides there. Your calendar is your Google Calendar. For some reason I couldn't figure out why I didn't sync my Exchange calendar, my Outlook calendar right away, so I'm gonna have to dig into that a little bit after that. And then one of the other things the phone has that the iPhone, for example, doesn't is the multitasking capabilities. One of the really cool features about this phone is the ability to multitask, and one great example to show that would be, for example, Pandora, which is an app that exists also on the iPhone. So we're going to launch Pandora, and we're going to pick, for example, a channel. So it's running on the Beatles channel. And then if we go back out to the home screen, you can see that I can go into contacts, I can go into mail, and I can go to the browser, and the music is still continuing to run, and you can see that there's a active P right there that indicates the Pandora, and by sliding it down I can just clicking on Pandora right here, and that runs. And what we're going to do is we're going to quit the application, and now it takes you back to your browser. So that's a very, very neat function in the Android that the iPhone does not allow you to multitask in that matter, especially using a lot of their apps. Now moving to the camera or the photo app. The gallery is pretty kind of neat. It automatically synced with Picasa, so that's one of the things that it does. It gives you kind of that really cool effect to sync with Picasa, and then once you sync with Picasa, you can kind of move the photos and select a certain photo. Obviously the orientation changes based on how you change the phone. One of the things that we've also noticed is, the double click to zoom in and out. There is no multi-touch, so you can't use two fingers kind of to zoom in like the iPhone does. But they hopefully will have that. There are some rumors online that the version of Nexus 1 that's being shipped to Europe has multi-touch, so we'll wait and see how that changes in the future. One of the things that I've also noticed about the web browsing is it's very fast. It uses a really nice interface. It's very easy to use. And then the orientation factor where, you switch and it switches to one side to make it a landscape to horizontal. But one of the things that I noticed is it only works on one side. So it must be in one direction only in order for it to switch. When you switch it to the other side, it will not switch. It will remain in vertical mode. So that's another thing that's kind of different and somewhat disappointing. One of the very famous apps that a lot of people were talking about is the navigation or the maps. And by clicking this app that's called Car Home, you can voice navigate by just searching. The navigation works really, really good. We just tested it today, and We were very, very impressed with the navigation. It uses Google Maps, and it is very accurate. It updates really fast. It takes about even 4 seconds from you deviating from the plan. It's about 4 seconds to correct you and recalculate and reroute you. It's a very impressive navigation app so far. Hopefully we'll test it a little bit more. One of the very famous apps on the Android is the app Ring Droid right here, which allows you to edit any of your music on board right there. It will load the song and allows you to kind of pick exactly where you want to edit that song and make right here the edits, and turns that into a ringtone. So that was a really easy app to download and start using it right away. One of the other things that we also like to note is the market itself, and we are on at&t, so we're using Wi-Fi here because as you know, if you have at&t, it will only work on Edge, not 3G, so it's a little bit slow. The applications, or the App Store, or the Droid market, like Google likes to call it, is only 20,000 apps instead of a little bit about 95 or maybe 100,000 apps now on the iPhone. But I felt that the apps are the way they're displaying them and the way it's easily accessible through categories and things like that. I thought that experience was really nice. One of the things that I like a lot about the Droid applications is the ability to download multiple apps all at once without having to wait for the iPhone to download the first app. The iPhone does kind of a very funky thing. You click to download the app and buy it. It asks you to put in your password, and when you do that, it'll take you back to the home screen where the app exists, and you can see the bar loading. You can jump back to the App Store by going back to the home screen, click on the App Store and go in there and go back and then go through the menus. Versus here, for example, we'll download a bunch of free apps that we'll probably delete later. So here's an app. I'm going to click install. It's going to give me some information about what this app will access. I'm going to say OK. While it's doing that, I'm going to click install on this app. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to do tip calculator. I'm going to do install. And as you can see right on top here, it is successfully installing some of the apps. So right there, I can access the app directly from here, as you can see, without having to go back to the market every time. And by clicking back, I can actually go back to the app market. So that's kind of a really cool feature in the Android that the Apple doesn't have, and that's one of the things that really sets it a little bit different. You can buy music using the Amazon MP3 store, which I think it's a very easy to use experience. So let's say we're accessing the songs. It still does the same idea of the preview when you click on the song. So you get the preview. And one of the things that we've noticed as well is that the speakers are on the back. And the sound is really may not sound as loud as the iPhone, but it's only because of the orientation of the actual speakers. So the speakers, because they're on the back, you don't get that bounce back off your hand, and you can listen to it like the iPhone does right in the back here, or at the bottom.